Good day, my gorgeous, gorgeous souls. What an incredible message I have for someone today. So, if you clicked on this video, I fully trust that there is a greater reason your intuition guided you to this specific message, and that your little soul is currently on the timeline where this message will reflect clarity to you. So, while I was meditating today, I kept hearing the phrase, and I just saw 222 on my clock. I kept hearing the phrase, "You are meant to dance in the rain, not drown." And once I unraveled this message, I realized what a powerful one it was for someone in the collective. So, when I heard the phrase, "You are meant to dance in the rain and not drown," I instantly thought of someone having a lot of emotional things come up in their life at this moment. I really felt like the rain was representing emotions that were holding someone down. And before I continue with this message, I do want to remind everyone that this is a general collective message. So there will be an overall theme, but the circumstances can be different for each person on how this manifests. So once I reflected on these words, I saw many different situations manifest for the collective. So I saw a deep core wound that is being triggered in some, and now they are being asked to heal this wound within them, especially in regards to suppressing or avoiding emotions in particularly hard situations. And I saw a person in the collective dealing with some type of situation that was really beyond their control. So, nothing that this person could say or do would actually change their outcome. And the emotions that came with having to face that reality. And I specifically saw a situation where someone in the collective currently has a manipulative partner. And this person who I'm channeling has continuously tried to help the other person heal their traumas because they really do care about them. But what they are finding out is that this person is not willing to change. So, because of these circumstances in your external environment, emotions are being brought up within your being. But what I see is a plug is actually being put in a drain in this person's energy field. So you have a way to process emotions and thoughts that come up, but now there is something actually preventing the release of all of this energy. So it's as though the rain is coming down. And in some cases, it's a really heavy, intense rain. But this rain has nowhere to go. So, what is happening is it's damming up all of the water in your body and in your energy field. So, the water is rising and rising, and this person quite naturally feels overwhelmed. It's almost like they actually are drowning in this 3D physical reality. And as I was saying the water is rising, I immediately thought of a water rising sign. So a Cancer rising, a Scorpio rising, or a Pisces rising. That may resonate with someone in the collective. Your guides are wanting you to know that this rain is here to purify and to detox you and to cleanse your soul. Have you ever had a good cry and then you just felt so much better afterwards? This rain is here to help you move that energy that has been in your body so that it doesn't stay stagnant. So, if this is you I'm channeling, I want to invite you to allow yourself to feel whatever surfaces. Don't ignore it. Don't push it down. Don't make excuses. Don't avoid it. Don't plug what you're feeling just so you don't have to feel it. The plug in the drain represents some type of blockage in your energy field. So we have ways that we can actually allow our emotions to dissipate, but there's some type of blockage. So this could be something like a mindset that you have where you feel as though you don't have enough time in this day to process things that come up for you. Or maybe you feel uncomfortable when you have to swim around in your emotions. It could be something where you have a fear of, let's say, being abandoned. Okay, so you have a fear of this. So basically, when situations come up, you suppress how you truly feel about something so that someone will stay with you. You don't actually allow yourself to feel what comes up and to listen to what your body and your emotions and your heart are actually telling you. So, whatever this core wound is for you, and again, it's going to be different for each person, but whatever this core wound is, by avoiding it and blocking it out of your feeling system, you are quite literally flooding yourself. It's going to be so important to allow whatever this block is to release. In my mind's eye, and this is going to be for a very, very specific person that is listening to this reading, it's not going to be for everyone, so only take it if it resonates. But in my mind's eye, I actually see someone who is experiencing an outside influence that is trying to control them. So someone may feel powerless to the things that are going on in their external environment. But what they do feel is that they have control over what is going on internally, which is true. But instead of processing the things that come up with the situation, they are controlling the circumstances by not allowing themselves to process the emotion that does come up. And there is one thing about this healing journey, and I cannot stress it enough. There are no true shortcuts along the way. You have to do hard things on this healing journey. You can't just block something out and think it will go away or avoid something for those feelings to disappear. What my vision showed me is that when you do that, these emotions just keep building up and building up in your container, which your container is your body and your energy field. So I just got a visual of a storm brewing, and this storm just keeps growing in intensity and momentum. And then when you least expect it, at a totally random time, it hits. And heavy rains begin to pour down. And when this happens, you naturally feel like you're drowning and you can't take anymore. But then wait, there's more, because heavy rains have been collected within you. So they have just been building up and building up. So now the dam that is within you has reached its capacity. And before you know it, the dam bursts and your emotions flood out of you in these crazy and wild ways. And you may have even noticed yourself reacting in ways that are unlike you. And I can even see where some people would be shocked that the way that you're processing things or the way that things come out is you, is you reacting, because this just is not you. But this doesn't have to happen. So your guides are showing me that you are meant to dance in the rain and enjoy when the heavens pour down this rain to purify and cleanse your soul. So if you find yourself needing to cry, then cry. If you need to scream, scream. If you need some alone time to process things, set up a boundary for alone time. Whatever you need to do to process these feelings that come up, do it. The only thing you have to worry about not doing is trying to push anything that you feel away or trying to escape anything that comes up. Your guides are actually showing me right now that you came to be a lifeguard for different souls in this lifetime. Isn't that sweet? That's really precious. So you came here to serve and to help others that are in need. But you can't be a lifeguard if you're the one that is actually drowning. You cannot save anyone. And what I'm seeing is your light and your gifts that you are meant to share with the world, they are being drowned out because external circumstances are causing these emotions to come up that are flooding your internal light and your divine spark. So, whoever this is for, you are unique and powerful. And I say that because not every soul is meant to come here to save others, okay? This takes a special person because when you sign up for that mission, there is this element of sacrifice where you use your energy to bring others to their own light that is within them. So you're a hero. You're actually a superhero that is going on this hero's journey this lifetime. So your guides want you to know to embrace the rain when it comes and allow it to nurture and to grow your soul, because rain comes to help things in this world. It helps things grow and thrive and become better versions of their present self. So not all rain is bad. And also you have to remember that there is no way to escape rain. Okay, even in the desert, it rains sometimes. And I just actually got a visual of all of the wildflowers that are growing in Death Valley. So that's one of the hottest places on earth, and flowers are growing because it has rained. There are seasons of rain that we each must go through during this lifetime. There is no way to avoid it. Now, I just specifically saw while I was speaking, someone's guides want to bring this up because they want you to become aware of it. And of course, this isn't going to be for everyone. So someone was actually never taught how to process their emotions. There wasn't a clarity on mental. I'm sorry, I'm listening to someone's guides. Just one moment. Okay, so there wasn't when they were a child, it seems like there wasn't a focus on mental health. And so someone actually was never taught how to process their emotions. They were taught to suppress them and to avoid them and to not worry about them. And it seems like someone's guides is actually trying to tell me that they were taught that emotions were a weakness and that people could basically exploit you if they knew you were vulnerable or weak. So they were actually taught, even though on the inside they may be dying, on the outside they're pretending that nothing is happening and that they are not affected. So I do want to say and to show that this process of feeling this uncomfortability with whatever does come up for you may be harder for some than others. Some people have been dealing with this their whole entire life. Some people it's going to be a little bit harder because you were taught to deny that part of you. But when you embrace the rain and you allow your emotions to cleanse you, you are able to become lighter. And because you're lighter, you can help others with their heaviness. By not embracing the rain, you yourself become heavy. So, actually, I got a message about being invisible, and I planned on making a separate video for that message, but it feels perfect for this little insight to share a story that happened in my own life. So, what I have found is, because I'm on this healing journey and I'm very reflective and I go very deep, I have found that I am often the one that my friends and my family, acquaintances, whoever turn to in order to help them process their emotions when something comes up and they don't know how to deal with it. So a situation occurred to me a while back that caused quite a bit of emotions to surface for me. Now, I almost always process anything emotional that happens in my life, I process it alone. And I tried that. I really, really tried that. But this was a big one. Okay. And I knew I needed to resource out and find someone that could help me process this emotion and just hold space so I could grieve. So I went to my partner who I was dating at the time. And now this was incredibly vulnerable for me, okay? Because I never ask anyone for help. I just always try to do it on my own because I don't want to bother someone. Of course, I'm not as healed as I am now. But anyway, so I went to my partner because I needed help with I needed someone to hug me and be there for me to go through this emotional thing. And what I found when I reached out to my partner was that I was actually dismissed and rejected. In fact, because I was so emotional, this person actually avoided me for an entire week. And that made me even more emotional than I already was. So it was like the storm was brewing and the floods within me were growing. So I reflected on all of this and I did notice a pattern. Every time I got upset about something, this person ran away. So I quite literally remember telling myself at the time that I don't need to be emotional and I don't need to get too emotional around this person because they will just leave me, and that I was too much because I didn't need to be this emotional. So what ended up happening is I could never process anything that came up between us, and I could never communicate anything that upset me because when I got upset, I would display my emotions, and of course they would leave and abandon me and reject me. So I knew I wasn't getting anywhere with my partner. So I tried to reach out to a couple of other people, and it just was like they did not have the knowledge of how to process emotions. So they really were no help, even though they had good intentions. So over time, I began to realize that there really was no point in me crying or getting upset with anything that happened because no one wanted to be bothered by all of that emotion that I was bringing up, and that I was just too much because I am such an emotional person. Well, some time passes, and oddly enough, on a day where it was raining, I got really sleepy. And so I laid down to take a nap in the middle of the day, and I fell asleep. Everything went well. And when I woke up, oh Lord, let me tell you, I started ugly crying, and I had absolutely no idea why. And as I was crying, I was just sitting there bawling my eyes out. Things started to surface. I felt so invisible. I felt so misunderstood, even though I was able to understand those around me at these incredible, deep levels. I felt alone in this world. And honestly, I felt tired and exhausted from always having to do the work on my own. I just wanted to find one person. That's it, just one person that could save me, that could help me, that could support me, that could be there for me. But in that moment, there was no one. So I cried out to God and I grieved. I grieved for myself. I grieved for my inner child. I grieved for this world. I grieved for the circumstances I was in. I mean, I just cried and cried and cried. Now, I will say I felt a lot better once that storm passed. And I did have to go through the storm alone in that moment. And when I say alone, your guides are always there, creator's always there. But as far as anybody physically in my environment, I was alone. But something really strange happened. So a few hours later, I went outside. The rain had stopped and it had cleared up. And so I just wanted to get outside and get some fresh air and listen to the birds. And at that exact moment, an old friend that I had not seen in years drove by and honked. And I was so taken aback because it had really been a very long time since I had seen that person. Well, anyways, I was just doing my thing outside, and eventually I came inside and I decided to text them. And they actually asked if I would just like to go out that night and just catch up because it had been so long since we had seen each other. Now, at first, I'll admit, I didn't want to go because I was tired from crying and I just had had a long day. I was processing everything. It was just a whole day. But some little spark in me was like, actually, I do want like I want conversation with someone right in front of me. Like I don't want it over the phone or whatever. I want actual conversation. And I wanted some spontaneity. So, don't you know, we went out and we were only going to spend an hour catching up, and we ended up spending the entire night. And both of us were just talking and holding space for one another and grieving things that happened in our life that hurt us. And I was close to this person before, but after that night, I felt deeply bonded to them. It was actually a surreal experience because when you embrace the rain, you find your people that can hold your umbrella and to help you through your puddles. It was honestly one of the most rejuvenating nights that I've had for my soul to date. So, my dear butterflies, you are not weak if you cry. You are not dumb if you release. You are not alone in any of this, even if it does seem that way. You have a team of guides and a creator that are aligning things that you cannot even see yet. Believe me, I never thought that that person I hadn't seen in all of those years was going to drive by the minute I went outside. So I want to thank you for being the person that you are and being so connected to your guides. Some people actually block their guides and they don't communicate with them, or they don't want to communicate because that would require you have to go in yourself and heal things. And some people don't even realize that they have guides. But you, my friend, you give them space to work for you. And that is a beautiful thing. You are actually quite an impressive soul. Mwah.